our presenter this afternoon. I will introduce her shortly. Please just note, as you've seen on the screen, that you should please mute your mic and your video. You are welcome to type your questions in the chat box, and I will ask Daneshri to answer these at the end of a presentation. The session will be recorded and the link will be sent to everyone afterwards. Daneshri, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Thanks, Naomi.
Okay. Daneshri Moodley is a customer consultant working with Elsevier's core product portfolio. She is based in Durban in South Africa. She's a UNISA graduate and has worked with Elsevier and with LexisNexis for 7 years. She is responsible for the relationship between Elsevier and its customers in the sub-Saharan Africa region. And this afternoon, she's going to tell us all about Scopus and how best to use this resource and all its tools. Thank you, Daneshri. We're looking forward to your presentation. You may now share your screen.
Thank you so much, Naomi. Let me share the screen. Okay. Okay. Could you indicate if you're seeing this in a full screen or in a presenter view?
I am still not seeing your screen.
Okay. Maybe it's taking a bit of time. All right, let me try sharing again. I will share.
No, still nothing.
Let's share. Now, anything?
Yes, I'm not sure if this is yours. It's a
no, there was a
no,
webcam
there was
that came in.
yeah.
Okay.
No, still nothing.
Let's try again.
Someone is suggesting that you should select application window. I'm not quite sure where that is.
Okay, let me try that. It's got desktop or window, so I'll try that.
I think, yeah, try to share your desktop.
Okay, this is desktop. So are you seeing anything?
Someone else says your PowerPoint should not be in slideshow mode, but in edit mode first. And then afterwards you can change it to slideshow.
Okay.
Is that,
it is in edit.
Is it in edit mode?
I'm not quite sure what's happening. Let me try again.
Daneshri, you can also email me the slides and I'll try and share them from my side, and you can just prompt me when I need to switch.
Okay, no problem. Let's just try one more time. Okay, I'm going to do that then. I'll email through the presentation. Apologies, everybody. Sorry for the slight delay. But if you just allow me 1 minute to send this presentation through.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a short one anyway. I think this shouldn't.
Do you also want to do a live demonstration?
Yeah. Okay, let me try this. The last time this happened, on a previous meeting, the person had to exit and rejoin. So should I try that? I can
Yes, I think you can try that.
Okay, I'll be back now.
Apologies, everyone. I'm sure that will be fixed just now. Kechner, can you admit Tanishri? Okay.
Okay, I'm here. Let me try sharing my screen again. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen.
Okay, there we go.
Oh.
It's working. Okay, perfect.
Oh, wonderful.
Okay, so are you seeing the slideshow?
Yes, we're seeing
we
that
are.
now. Wonderful.
Okay, that's
Okay,
wonderful.
so, okay, over to you. Danishri, is it fine if we leave questions till the end, or do you want at certain stages of your presentation to stop for questions?
Yeah, questions at the end is fine. Or
Okay.
yeah,
Okay,
it's no
so
problem.
people can use the chat box for that, and I will relay them to you at the end. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay. Thanks so much, Naomi.
Okay.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to today's Scopus presentation. Thank you so much to Naomi for inviting me to present at your library week and giving me the opportunity to interact with all of you. So, as she introduced me earlier on, I'm Daneshri. I'm the customer consultant for Elsevier for Sub-Saharan Africa. I deal with customers all over the Sub-Saharan Africa region who use the Elsevier core product portfolio. And I had the pleasure of coming to Stellenbosch last year. And just when we were wanting to plan live training sessions this year, unfortunately, the COVID situation has happened. And with regards to that, on behalf of Elsevier, we hope that you are all safe and well. And luckily, here in South Africa, there are some restrictions that have been lifted. So I hope that you are now enjoying some time with your family. And hopefully, we can resume what we once knew as a normal life soon. So I'm going to take you through a Scopus presentation today. We're going to talk a bit about Scopus itself, the content and what you can find on Scopus, why you would use it. And I'll do a couple of examples. Unfortunately, an hour is a bit of a short period to train a full training session on a product like Scopus. But I encourage you to send a message through if you feel that you require more training after the session. I do think you may, because there is a lot to cover. And if you have any questions or comments, please do use the comment box that's available to you. So, Scopus training today. Okay, how does Scopus fit into the knowledge cycle? So, firstly, what is the knowledge cycle? It is the phases that researchers go through when conducting their work. They find themselves either in the discover phase, building resources, organizing resources, writing and citing, or getting cited. And you'll notice that Scopus has been noted on 2 of these phases. So in the discover phase, generally in the beginning, you're trying to find what research is available. You're trying to find peer-reviewed content. You want to find author information, universities and research institutions that are leading research in a particular field. You want to find funding information, potential collaborators, find what has been done, what can be done, what can be built upon. And once you're able to locate all of that, then we generally recommend Science Direct, which is where you will find full text article and book content. We also recommend the reference manager Mendeley, but you're free to use whichever reference manager you'd like. And lastly, to get cited, we recommend both Scopus and Science Direct for different reasons. but we're going to discuss some of those reasons in today's presentation. So, Elsevier Research Intelligence, combining technology, analytics, and content. Because the right content with the right technology and analytics results in improved outcomes. So what we're trying to say in this slide is that you have smart tools available for you that your university has provided you with. And these tools can help you navigate the research process in a more efficient way by utilizing advanced technology and analytics. So the best thing to do is to learn how to leverage these tools to help to benefit you, to save you that time, because we all know that time is a valuable resource to researchers. One of the products I'd like to talk about today, it's a free product called the Researcher Academy. You can access it from this website. It's www.researcheracademy.com. And it is a website that's aimed at building researchers' knowledge around the publication process. So if you want to do some courses to build your knowledge around research preparation, writing for research, the publication process, navigating peer review, or communicating your research, you can use this platform. You simply go to the website and you put in your login credentials. Your login credentials could be the same login credentials that you use to log into Scopus or Science Direct, because all the Elsevier products are single sign-on. So you can use the same username and password. Once you log in, you'll have access to all these courses and modules which can help build your knowledge around the publishing process. Okay. Some of the most important topics that are covered on this platform is the publication process for journal selection, ethics, more information about learning about the different business models of publishing, like open access or subscription, or what do all of these terms mean. Also a very important topic, ethics, understanding predatory journals and journal selection. So also how to get social impact of your research, how to get visibility of your research. So there's various modules available on this platform, and as you complete the modules, you'll also be rewarded with a certificate from Elsevier. But that's just a by the way topic, just to tell you that you have that resource also available to you. It's completely free, so feel free to use it if you wish. So what are we here for today? Scopus. Scopus is the world's largest abstract and citation database of peer-reviewed literature, and it allows you to track, analyze, and visualize scholarly research. So this is just like when we're studying, this is a very formal definition, but how I would practically explain it is that Scopus is a search engine which will give you peer-reviewed abstracts and citation information based on keyword searches that you will put in. So it's a large representative set of the peer-reviewed literature that is out there. It's a great point for you to find content that you're looking for in a research area or analyze a research area. And I'm going to show you a bit about that in today's demonstration. So what does Scopus contain? Okay, this slide is telling you a bit about some of the content that we have on Scopus. We have journals, conferences, books, patent information, broken down by subject area. Altogether, there are 78.2 million records from more than 24,000 serials. You have more than 119,000 conferences and 221,000 books. Okay, you've got 24,039 and growing peer-reviewed journals, okay, of which 5,527 are gold open access journals. Okay, these are broken down by subject area. So you've got physical sciences, health sciences, social sciences, life sciences, and there's a vast amount of content per subject area. You also have conference information, book information, patent information. So this is firstly telling you that Scopus covers a wide range of subject areas. And it's also a publisher neutral database. Okay, so this tells you that Scopus is indexing more than 5,000 publishers. So it's generally the one-stop shop for any peer-reviewed content, irrespective of the publisher. So here it shows you the content by publisher. So you can see Elsevier has 11% of the content on Scopus, Springer Nature 7%, 5% is Taylor and Francis, and the list goes on. So it's also publisher neutral. You also get a global representation of the research that's available. You can see research from all over the world. So here you can see there's research from North America, Africa, Middle East, Western Europe, Eastern Europe, Latin America, Asia Pacific, Australia, New Zealand. So, and it's got underneath that the number of journals that's indexed in Scopus, as well as how much more than the nearest competitor is contained on Scopus. But the more important point to take away from this, if you're a researcher, is that if you go onto Scopus and you put in keywords, you're going to see peer-reviewed articles from researchers all over the world. So that's when you want to write research, you're going to go there and you're going to look for that content. Similarly, researchers all over the world are going to go onto Scopus and put in keywords and look for relevant research when they want to write their research articles. So the point is, bringing me back to this slide, when we spoke about getting cited. So it's important that you consider the Scopus title list of journals when you're making a selection for a journal in which you'd like to publish. Because it's a big database and it's one of the world's biggest databases, it's actually the world's biggest, where people are going to go and look for content. It's important for your content to be available on Scopus to increase your visibility. So this is why it's noted as get cited as well as in the discovery phase, because you're going to go there, find this information, as well as you want your literature and information to be available on this platform for others to see and cite. Okay, so that brings me to that point. Now, we're also going to talk a bit about the historical depth of Scopus. You have records dating back to 1788, with reference records back to 1970. It's also considered the gold standard. It's considered and it's recognized for its excellence by 5,000 customers, including funders, universities, ranking institutions, like, for example, the Times Higher Education World University Rankings utilizes Scopus. So what's important for you to also take away from this is that your author profile, if you've got work that's indexed on Scopus, it's important for you to keep your author profile clean and updated and make sure that all the work that you have done is indexed under your author profile. So make sure that that is also up to date for these reasons. So we've spoken a bit about, we've spoken a bit about what Scopus contains and kind of what you can use it for, but this is talking a bit to why you should or why you can trust Scopus. So the journals that's selected on Scopus go through an evaluation process before it becomes part of the journal title list that you see on Scopus. Every year, Scopus receives about 3,500 title suggestions. Okay, about 39% of those meet the minimum Scopus criteria, and 46% of those 39% are actually selected for indexing on Scopus after an evaluation from Scopus Content Selection and Advisory Board, which consists of subject matter experts who will review the submissions to Scopus. Okay, once it's indexed in Scopus, it's also put through a re-evaluation process. We utilize an algorithm called Radar, which evaluates the journals that's indexed on Scopus. It looks for journals demonstrating outlier behaviors, such as sudden exponential article growth or unexplainable sudden changes to an affiliation country. And if a journal should display these characteristics, the journal is then flagged and it is put through the evaluation process again. So it must then re-meet the minimum criteria, go through the review before it can be re-indexed into Scopus. So what is that minimum criteria? Okay, there's a list of 14 criteria on your screen right now, examples of which are there must be geographical dispersion between authors and editors. It has to have English abstracts, Roman script referencing. It must have a online publication schedule. There mustn't be a delay in the publication schedule. The editor's standing, it must have a convincing editorial concept or policy. So there's a list of criteria that the journal must meet before it is selected for Scopus. Okay, so we've spoken a lot about the platform itself. Let's look at how it will practically work. So I'm going to jump off the presentation now and open Scopus itself. Right. So since we're all working remotely, it's really important that your account is active for remote access. So how will you know that it's activated for remote access? So if you go on to Scopus, you shouldn't see Scopus Preview, firstly. Scopus Preview is a version of Scopus that is available to anybody, even if they don't have a subscription to Scopus itself. It has limited features, like you'll be able to see the journal list, the source list, in other words. And you'll also be able to see author profiles, but you won't be able to see all the features that you've come to know on Scopus, like finding these abstracts and the profiles and doing advanced searches and all of that. So you should also see brought to you by your university name. So if you are seeing Scopus Preview and you're not seeing the right results that you're looking for, you're on the wrong version, and you need to authenticate your account for remote access. So how do you do that? Generally, all our customers in South Africa use the same process, which is that you log on to the library portal and you find Scopus out of the database of resources. So if you log in by that method, the product will recognize you as part of your university and give you access to the entitlements that your university has subscribed to. Okay, there are alternative methods of access. Now, if you have any problems logging on, or you have you find that you're still on the Scopus Preview version, or you're struggling to get access to any of your entitlements, please contact your librarian or contact us, and we can help you to get access to the platform. So this is the Scopus platform. As you can see, I am signed on. If I click here, I can see my username. I can see my dashboard, saved searches, alerts, saved lists, and a couple other options. The most important things to note about signing on to your account, I mentioned earlier that you use these smart tools to your advantage. Both Science Direct and Scopus, as well as even Mendeley, employ advanced machine learning technology to understand what you're researching and act as your partner in research. So it will provide you with tailored recommendations, recommended reading, to cut down on your discovery time and get you the literature that you're looking for. Now, those recommendations will become more and more tailored and personalized the more you sign onto the platform and perform your searches or perform your readings. It's going to really become more specific. So make sure that you do actually log on to the platform. A lot of researchers are quite used to going onto the platform on campus, and they don't generally sign on, because when you're in the IP range of the university, you can actually access, plainly, you can access Science Direct and Scopus and the Elsevier products because you're in the IP range. But there are more features than just the remote access part, and you should be able to benefit from all of that. So make sure that you do sign on, and remember that I said earlier as well, the Elsevier products are single sign-on, so you just need one set of login credentials and it will work on all of the platforms. Okay, but that's just a bit of background about why you should sign into your account. You see a very simple layout when you come onto Scopus. You can search for documents, you can search for authors, affiliations, or perform an advanced search. Okay, This is different levels of Scopus training for these different options. But today, I'm just going to do a demonstration of some of the things you could find on Scopus. And as I say, if you feel you need more training after this, we're happy to do so. Just reach out to the library or reach out to me. So what do you have here? If you want to follow on your side as well, if you'd like to log on to Scopus and see that you are receiving the same results as me, feel free to do so. So you can perform a document search, an author search, or an affiliation search. Let's start with affiliation. This is when you're looking for a university or a research institute and you would like to analyze some of the findings. So here I'll search for Stellenbosch. Right, so there's more than one affiliation to Stellenbosch. So you could make sure you select the correct one. And if there's librarians on the line today, you might want to group the affiliations if you feel like they should all be contributing to the same profile. You can do so. Just do contact us to do the institutional profile wizard where you can actually combine this. But let's look at Stellenbosch University. Right, so you can see straight away some information about the university. Okay, you are seeing the name, address, other name formats. You can give feedback. So this is where the librarians would maybe want to use this option. You can set alerts so that you're notified when new publications are indexed on Scopus. You can export a subject area. You can print or email this page itself if you need it. But lower down, you've got documents by the whole institution, documents by affiliation only, and authors. So this is showing you your university profile on Scopus, all the publications that we have indexed in Scopus affiliated to your university, or all the authors that are affiliated to your university that have publications on Scopus. So what's the difference between documents whole institution and documents by affiliation only? If ever you need more information, there are always links next to terms and definitions on Scopus, which you can click on and it'll give you more information. So here it's telling you 2 sets of documents counts may appear on this page. Documents by affiliation only reflects the number of documents directly associated with the affiliation profile. However, documents whole institution reflects the total number of documents associated with the institution. It's the sum of those from the institution itself plus those from affiliations contained within its hierarchy. Okay, so those are the ones that's also affiliated to Stellenbosch University. Lower down, you have documents by subject area. And then here you have a pie graph showing you the research output, which is indexed on Scopus per subject area. So here you can clearly see there's a high research output in medicine, in agriculture, biochemistry, genetics and molecular biology, social sciences, engineering. So it's pretty much a broad spread by discipline, but the focus is on medicine and agriculture. Okay. Now, Scopus is an interactive platform. So if you wanted to see the medicine publications, you could click on the number. It'll take you straight through to that list. If you wanted to see agriculture, you click on that number. It'll take you straight through to that list. Okay. And then also important, if there's any librarians on, you might want to look at documents by source. So it tells you a list of the publications by journal name. So it's showing you which are the highest, the journals that have the highest research output for the university as well, okay, as well as patent results. So that's one way you could look at your university profile. So let's do a different search. Let's look for an author. For example, Okay, and I'm looking for a particular Kareem, so I'm going to go University of KwaZulu-Natal. Okay, I'm going to select this particular author. And I can see some information about the author. I can see the author's name, the university the author is affiliated to, the documents by the author, total citations, H-index, document and citation trend, as well as the documents cited by, co-authors, and topics. So you don't need to know the full author's name. You can search and refine the search like I did, or you can go and find an author profile by a different method. So say, for example, you are on an affiliation, like let's go back to your university. So even if you don't know the full name of the author, you can always find their profile. So if I go to your university, and I go to the authors, and I'm wanting to order this list by the authors with the highest H index, for example. There's one of your authors. I'm going to click on the author's name. Okay, the author's name is David Richardson. Okay, this is the author's other name formats. So sometimes the author's name spelling could be different, or sometimes the author could have gone by their full name or by an abbreviation or by the letter first and then the surname, or the surname first and the letter following. So it follows different name formats. So even if you have an author profile, it's really important to check that your publications are all indexed under your profile. And if Scopus cannot 100% match that you are the same Richardson, then it will create multiple profiles. So make sure that all your publications are under your name if you have publications on Scopus. Right, so here's the profile, here's the other name formats, and then here's the subject areas in which the author has research published. You have an option to edit the author profile, connect the ORC ID. You can set a citation alert or a document alert so that you are alerted whenever the author is cited or publishing and indexed on Scopus. You can create an author list, or you can export the profile to Cyvel. Here, you have the option to see the documents that the authors published, a list of those documents. This is the total citations the authors received, the H index of the author. Now, lower down, you have a graph which shows you the document output by the author versus the citations received. So the document output is in blue and the citations received in red. Lower down, you can see the documents. You can order the list by the date, the older publications, highest cited, lowest cited, depending on what you're trying to see. You can view the abstracts of the publications from the author. You can see this publication is open access, so you can actually access this publication. You can determine whether you have subscription or access to the articles published. And above this, you've got an option, which is a feature on both Science Direct and Scopus. Whenever you see the author's name, you can click on the name and it will take you to the author's Mendeley profile. So even if you don't use Mendeley as a reference manager, it's really a nice tool to use for collaborating and networking. So it's embedded in both Science Direct and Scopus, and it will take you to the author's profile where you can learn more about the author, you can connect with the author, and potentially build your network and collaborate. So here you've got the author's profile, the author's H index, citations, publications, the co-author information, and options to basically connect with the author. So you can build your network. Okay, that's just an additional feature of Scopus. But here you might want to learn more about what the H index is or how it's calculated. So I'm just clicking on that little question mark indicator, and more information will be displayed for me where I can learn all about the H index. So it's telling me this is a graph, how is it calculated, more about it. So you can read about this if you need more information. But if I wanted to view the author's H graph, I can click on this link. And basically it's telling me that the author has 91 publications in which the author has been cited at least 91 times, which is quite a high H index. Now, once you click on that H index option and you can see the graph itself, you can, anything that you've seen so far, you can export, including this. You can export and download this, even if it's your own profile and you want to add it to your CV or your funding applications. You can export these graphs in PDF or JPEG. You simply select export and you select how you'd like to export it. The graphs are interactive, so you can change the years, for example. So if I had to go, maybe I just want to see 2010 to 2020. I want to exclude self-citations and I'd like to update this graph. So now I see his H index over the past 10 years is 51, which is still very high. And you can see the H graph. You've also got these interchangeable cards, which you can learn more about the author. So let's look at the citations card. So if you wanted to see the author's citations over time or download this graph, you could do so. Okay, you can see the actual citations listed here on the left for you. Then maybe you want to learn about the co-authors. Here's a list of the co-authors here. And then there's more cards here, which is, okay, sorry. So here you've got documents by source. So which journals is the author publishing in? So here I can immediately see Biological Invasions is one of the more selected journal by this author. Diversity and Distributions, 39 documents in Scopus. South African Journal of Botany, 24 documents in Scopus. So I'm learning more about the author's profile, where the author's publishing and why the author is so impactful. So here I could see by type. So what is the author publishing? Mainly articles, with 68% of the documents indexed in Scopus under this author's profile made to articles. Reviews, 67 documents. There's also editorials, book chapters, letters, notes, and so on. Okay, and then you've got by year. So here maybe you want to analyze the research output from this author year on year. So here you can see, all right, in the year 2000, there were 6 documents. Then by 2002, there was 1. And then if you look here, between these few years, it went right up to 34, 33 documents in 2014. Right at the top, 37 documents in 2017, and then 23 in 2019. And then by subject area, so you see this author is mainly working with agriculture and biological sciences, and then environmental science as well. So there are some other subject areas here, but remember that research could form part of more than one subject area, although the main focus may be agriculture or environmental science. It could fall under more than one subject area. Okay. So that's a bit about the author profile. And if I want to go back to the author details page, I can do so here. Right, so that is how you can analyze the author profile in greater detail. Now let's go back to search. All right, so here we previously searched for an author, we searched for affiliations, now we're going to search for documents. So this is where you need to be quite specific in the way that you are searching. So Scopus it's different to like when you decide to go and put in a search on Google. We generally just, in the age that we live in, myself included, we go onto Google and we want the search engine to understand exactly what we want to see. So it's like going onto Google and searching for mechanics. Where do you want to see the mechanics? What mechanic are you looking for? What price range are you looking for? How far should they be from you? You have to be a bit more specific in your search. Otherwise, you'll be phoning mechanics in Joburg when you're in Durban, that kind of thing. So similarly, you need to be quite specific in the way you search on Scopus so that you see relevant results. With a database that's as big as this, if you don't do it that way, you're just going to be paging through hundreds of thousands of results that may not even be relevant to what you're researching. So if you know how to construct your search, and whenever I do training, I say this, there's tons of notes online on how to construct a Scopus search. But in my opinion, you should make your search string simple but to the point, but then use filters to make it more specific. Let me show you an example of what I mean. Let's look at coffee production, for example. I'm putting in the words and I'm asking Scopus to find results related to coffee production. Coffee production in any context, anywhere. So that's 5,044 results. Let's do another search. So let's search for human immunodeficiency virus. 396,603 document results. No one has time to read all of this, so let's try and refine the search a little bit more to make it a bit more specific to what you're researching, and you have a more representative set of results so that you can make analysis and findings. So firstly, it's searching for human immunodeficiency virus as a search string. Okay, you can edit the search, you can save it, set an alert. There are those options for you. But right now, we're just going to use the refine options to make the search more specific to our research. So let's pretend we are doing research on HIV as it pertains to Africa, so African countries, and research between the past 5 years. We are looking for articles and reviews, and we want it to be in English. Right now, that's not very specific in the search that I've done. I've just searched for human immunodeficiency virus. Now I'm going to make it more specific. So on the left-hand side, you have filters. You have open access or other. So if you're looking only for open access content, immediately you can select it and you'd be done. So you have all the open access content that's available to you matching the search string. But for now, that's not really my area of interest. So I'm going to select 2019, 2018, 2017, 2016, and 2015. So 5 years. Lower down, if I know the particular authors that I would like to see only their research, I could select their names here. The option's available for you, but it's not really for my example. Now, subject area. You could be searching for HIV in a social sciences context, not necessarily medicine or chemistry or anything like that. So you need to tell Scopus at this point which subject area you're looking at. So let's select medicine in this case, immunology. So those two subject areas. But if you were looking for psychology, for social sciences, for any other subject area, if you select view all, you'll be able to see the other subject areas, and you could have selected it here. Lower down, remember I said we're looking for documents, articles, and reviews. So not wanting to see book chapters or conferences or letters for this example. We're just looking at those two document types. I'm looking for final articles, not articles in press. And if you know, so researchers generally know the journals that they want to read and the journals that they want to follow. If that's important to you for this search that we are constructing, you select those journal names there. All of it is available for you under source title. And then the keyword option. This is also something I stress in training. This will really help you to construct your search. So it's when you go onto Scopus, and if you spend 5 minutes really constructing a search well, you can save the search and rerun it next time so that you don't have to go through this process again. But just spend those few extra minutes making it quite specific, and you'll see how it will benefit you. So if I look at keywords and I select view all, you see there's a lot of keywords, but it's going to make the results that much more specific. So I'm going to spend that little bit of time kind of making it more specific to what I'm researching. So I'll say infections in male adults, aged, risk factors, immunology, virus transmission, genetics, drug efficiency, also TB. Let me not be that person. Let me make it females, because I don't want the males to think that I'm pinpointing them or anything like that. So let me select South Africa. So whatever it is you're researching, right? I'm just going to select a couple of keywords. Africa, condom, antibodies. So I'm just selecting a couple of them, okay? And we'll see from there how it goes. But you go through that list and select it in such a way that those specific keywords are selected and it's relevant to what you're researching. I've got a few minutes left, so I'm going to round this up and just show you how you create a search overview. And then you've got the country or territory filter as well. So I said I wanted it to be just for African countries. So let's look at this list. We've got South Africa. Let's go through this list quickly, looking at DRC. Yeah, I think that's good enough for this example. And I'm looking at the source being journals, and I'm looking at English. So if I select limit 2 at this point, okay, I've got 9,560 document results. But look at my search string. It's quite a big search string, which you would have to have constructed on your own, but now you've done it just by using the filters. So what you can do is save the search. I'm going to save it. So now every time I come onto Scopus, I can just rerun it and make new findings. So it's saved. If I go to search, I can close this and I can just go to my profile. I'll select saved searches. And here's the search I just saved. And here's the exact results that we received the last time. We could do further filtering on the left this next time around, or I'm just going to show you how to analyze these results, and I'll close on that point because I know I just have an hour. So a couple of things here. You can view the abstract, decide on if this is part of your reading list. You can export, you can download. Remember though, Scopus is not going to give you the full text. It's just an abstract and citation database. You can, if you feel these results are too less, you can select View Cited By, and it will expand the list by showing you the articles that cited these articles. But for this example, I just want to select Analyze Search Results, just so that I can show you the different analysis you could make from here. So based on my search string, I can see research has increased year on year in this particular field. I have some cards below that I can interchange to take a couple of other decisions, like authors. I can see the top 10 authors with the highest research output in this field. I can also change, I can remove and add and interchange and make this graph a bit more customized. Additionally, I can view the author profile by clicking on their name, or view the documents by clicking on the number next to the author's name. Another card I could use is documents by affiliation. So based on my search query, you have the top 10 affiliations, so the top 10 institutions with high research output in this field. So we have here Stellenbosch as well, and there is a research output matching my search query of 684 documents. So I could also do documents by source. So this would give you an indication of the journals where the documents are coming from that match my search query. So I could just hover over a journal to look at the documents over time. So here I can see, like, if I hover as well on the actual, firstly I could just do this or this to exclude or include the journal. I can hover over the journal and see that documents are increasing or decreasing over time. Additionally, if you look at this, you can see the site score, SJR and SNP, which are 3 journal metrics which can be used to evaluate the journal. So this graph could help you decide on journals you might want to consider publishing in, or journals you might want to consider following. So that's documents by source. You can also see documents by subject area, matching my search query, documents by funding sponsor, who has been funding research and how much of research have they funded. Okay, so there's some names here for you. Okay, I'm just going to stop at that point because we have like 5 minutes left. So I just want to open up and ask if there's any questions for me or comments on this training session. I know we're limited for time, so I just want to be mindful of that. I'll stop sharing at this point.
Yeah, Daneshri, there's one question, and I think this is actually more of a comment about why is it so expensive to publish open access or in an open access journal. You can decide if you want to comment on that one. But it is indeed a problem, yes, that it is so very expensive to publish in open access journals. And then there is another question about how one can find universities globally that publish in a specific field of study. Say, for example, ecology. How would you find universities globally that are known for their studies in that area?
Okay, so let me start with the first question. So that was the question on open access publishing, yes. And agreed. Being South African myself, and I know that the prices are often quoted in dollars. It is expensive. But the open access publishing costs vary per journal. So there are journals that would be less expensive than others. It depends all on the journal that you're choosing to publish to. And then there's various open access publishing methods. So there's green open access as well as gold open access publishing. And each are different. So green open access publishing doesn't bear cost, but it bears a waiting period. Gold open access publishing does bear a cost, and that would be different per journal. So I don't know whether the question was specifically about the Elsevier open access journals, but I can share with you something. And I don't know which subject area the person is coming from, but I would agree it's expensive. I'm just explaining where the cost comes from. One of the journals that Elsevier has that's open access and specifically an African journal is called the Scientific African Journal. Okay, it has an APC of $200, which is generally considered one of the lower APCs. So it's something that you might want to consider, and I can also share more information with you on this. But the cost of the publication all depends on the journal, and it's all involving the publication costs. So while I agree it is expensive, I'm not quite sure which journal or which subject area or how to, better answer that question.
I think that is a discussion on its own, actually, that cost.
But we can have that discussion maybe in a separate session as well. Yeah.
Okay. Could you then say something about finding universities
Ecology.
that yeah.
Okay, so let me share again. Okay, the person that sent the question, do you have any specific research kind of keyword in ecology that you could give me to use as an example?
I can just unmute myself quickly. Keywords, potentially conservation or landscape ecology, arthropod conservation, yeah.
Let's try landscape ecology. Okay, so you just simply need to enter in the keywords. Two things. You can look on the left-hand side and you can scroll down to see the affiliations. Okay, so here it will give you all the affiliations ordered by the research output in descending order. Or you could search for the term and then select Analyze Search Results. And then just select the card for institutions, so documents by affiliation. So this will give you that. Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
Thanks very much.
No problem. Thanks for your question. Does anybody else have any questions that you'd like to ask?
There is another question about the number of results that can be exported. Apparently, it used to be more than 2,000, and now these days you can't export more than 2,000 results. If I understand it correctly, the page refuses to open. So what we do is to filter the results bit by bit until we get everything out. Is it possible now to export all results at once if you have more than 2,000?
I actually think it is 2,000. Let's do a test. You've chosen to export 28,000.
So you say that is the limit.
But if you want the rest, you can send an email. Put in your email address, and I have done this as well. And basically, it says they'll get back to you in 7 days, but they actually respond within the day or by the next day at latest with a link where you can actually download a bigger spreadsheet. The problem is exporting the size of the spreadsheet, so it comes as a separate link. So yeah, you can definitely do that.
James,
So
does that answer your question?
Let me also show you before we go, if you need help as well, if you have any problem with Scopus, you can reach out to me directly, or you can select this little question mark once you logged in and select contact us. So if you have any problems like that, sorry, I know it's 1 minute overtime, so I'm just going to show you very quickly. You just scroll through and you can find the FAQs, or contact us, send an email. We have a 24-hour turnaround time to respond. You can live chat to a technical support agent, or you can phone using the internet. You can call our support center, and we can help you with any of those kind of questions. If you're having a problem exporting, or you need more information about Scopus, that's the way to do it. I think I'm going to send a copy of my presentation through to Naomi, and I think that will be emailed through to you, where you will all have my email address. But I'll just type it here in case you need to reach out to me. It's teamwoodley@elsevier.com. If you have any questions after the session, you can feel free to email me directly.
Thank you, Daneshri. Actually, someone has also mentioned that they struggle with registering or signing in. And I know in the beginning it was a problem for me as well to register my own account within Science Direct or Scopus, because one gets sent around a lot. You log in, and then you're supposed to get an email with a link that you have to follow through, and it's not always that obvious what the process is. Yes. If someone struggles with that process, can they then also contact you, and will you be able to help them to register their account, or what would the best process be?
Yes, I will be able to help them. I would suggest they try the support options first, because sometimes there may be a delay in me replying, but I will help. So feel free to email me, no problem. What I would say is that maybe we need to have another session just to go through activating remote access. Naomi, normally when people need to access any library database, how do they normally access it? Do they log on to, I think, Open Athens, or how does it?
No, we use Easy Proxy, so they have to go via the library website and our list of databases, and then be recognized based on our IP authentication. And Easy Proxy is within our IP list, so they will be registered or recognized that way.
Okay.
As affiliated with Stellenbosch University.
And then it should take you straight on. But if it doesn't, there is an alternative way which you can activate with your institutional email address, and I can help with that. But maybe we can talk about having a separate session, even half an hour, just to address those concerns if anybody's still struggling, because we know, in the foreseeable future, for the next few months, it will be a situation where we are all working remotely. So it's important to make sure that they have access to what they need.
Okay. Yes, I know once that process works, it's perfect, but individuals sometimes struggle with the correct process to follow.
Thanks for that feedback. I will try my best to address it, and send out maybe an easier guide on how to activate remote access, and we can look into having a separate session for that as well.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other questions for Daneshri? No, it doesn't seem so. We have a number of thank yous. So yes, from my side as well. Thank you, Daneshri, for joining us for this Research Week session. It's been informative and very helpful. And thank you for everyone who joined us this afternoon. If you still have questions, you're welcome to contact me Naomi Visser at the library or your faculty librarian, or you can contact Taneshri at the email indicated there on the screen. Thank you very much, and I hope we see you the rest of the research week again for our other sessions.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Naomi. Thanks for having me. Have a good research week. Bye.
Thank you. Okay, bye-bye.